Not a lot of opportunities for men like us, is there, Frank? You married? You got a family? Yeah, I didn't think so. Married man would have went home instead of risking his life out here.
It ain't just a job for me.
Things just ain't adding up in the books. You expect a few critters to go missing, but this has been systematic. 400 head of cattle.
An uptick in livestock theft is likely due to a single, highly organized criminal outfit and should be considered armed and dangerous.
The righteous are always looking for righteousness. But what they're really looking for is order.
The highwaymen, huh?
That's quite an operation. Lucky us.
Great. Department of Agriculture.
Agriculture.
You under arrest for rustling cows.
He's close. He's got no truck, no cell phone, and it's several hours to the next town.
Let me use your phone.
Where's your truck? You run all the way here? Hang it up.
What now, Mr. Oklahoma livestock agent?
Y'all can't get away with this.
Sometimes disorder is the path to righteousness.
You crazy?
Yeah, maybe I am.
The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and welcome, everyone, to Scarefest Television. Original broadcast date, May 8th, 2026. And tonight, of course, I am joined by the lovely Joanna Hochstetter. By the way, Joanna, happy birthday to you. That was Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And tonight, our guest is Mr. Lochlyn Munro. Lochlyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course,
happy birthday as well.
Oh, thank you.
And, of course, Lochlyn is appearing at Spawn of Scarefest coming up first weekend of June. And so I just, a few notes here. Joe reviews Dust Bunny, which I have never heard of tonight. And I trimmed my beard this week, and Joanna is the only person that has noticed that I trimmed my beard, and it hurt my feelings last night at Horror Trivia. There, I've got that off my chest. Go ahead and bring Lochlyn on. Lochlyn, great to have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
I just want to say, it's funny, we're the same age, but I feel like I've watched you grow up. And of course,
Yeah.
you were playing a teenager in the 90s when a lot, it seemed.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to get that out there, that there's something about your face. I've always recognized you. Even I think the first thing I saw was Wagons East. You were in Wagons East, and for some reason, there's something about you stuck in my brain. So take it for what it's worth.
Okay. All right. Was it the bad performance? What?
No. First, I love the movie, but
No.
now, if I remember, okay, I didn't get to watch that one on streaming. By the way, everybody, this man has 292 acting credits on file on IMDb, plus 13 in the pipeline somewhere. So the first question right out the gate, Lochlyn, with that kind of career, how do you have time to do a second-rate podcast like mine?
Well, I actually have to be off in 30 seconds. So, no, I've been very fortunate to gosh, I think going on pretty close to 40 years now. Yeah. I know how to hit a mark, and I know how to find my light. That's pretty much it.
If you say so. I just know. I remember in Wagons East.
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't get to watch that one this week. By the way, I hope you got $1 for every movie that I've watched yours over the last 7 days. But you played like the naive farm boy that the widow was hitting on. Do I remember that correctly?
Yes, kind of like, she was. Was she kind of a mail order bride? I don't.
Yeah,
think.
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, gosh, I mean, I did that movie in 1994. Yes, with the late great John Candy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still trying to, because I went through. Okay, first of all, that's what I do when I have a guest on here. I'll go through their IMDb, see what's streaming. Could not keep up with you, dude. I was going back through them tonight just to make some notes, and I'm like, I'm only on 2016. Oh my God, this man is like over 40 years.
Yeah.
Now your new one,
years,
which actually surprised me. One of your new ones, actually, we got I think 3 that are streaming about the same time. But we're talking about let's see, A Thieves Highway. That's one I showed the trailer for, which I'm sure just threw everybody because it's like the farthest thing from a horror movie that I could put on there. Now, I got to say on that one, I love the movie, by the way, but I picked it out right away. As soon as you came on, I said, that man's too nice. He is not going to make it to the third act. So, what the question? How many times have you gotten killed? Do you keep counting things like that?
No, I don't really. I don't like to be in sequels. That's pretty much what it is. That's why I picked those roles.
Well,
I'm not a sequel guy.
And now, I know that now somebody said they watched an interview with you, and you actually, even after you're done with your part, you tend to stick around and watch the other actors doing their job. Is that true?
As far as like when I finish for the day, you mean?
Well, that's just what I read. Somebody stalked you online, and I just wanted to. That was one of the things.
Well, I mean, I pay attention. I mean, it's not always so much just to watch performances, but I do enjoy the whole sort of team that it takes to make a movie, whether it be the DP, the director, the stuntmen, the actors. I've never been one to always just go to my trailer, even when I'm not being used, because I love to watch and learn. I mean, I was very lucky. My very first Western was the movie Unforgiven, and I never left that set. I just sat, and that was my 4 years of film school all rolled into 2.5 months.
Now, before I toss it over to Joanne, I got a quick one here. Duets. You were in the movie Duets. Did you get to sing in that movie? I didn't get to rewatch it.
Yes. Yeah. I actually, my character opens the movie with a Billy Vera and the Beaters, or Billy Vera and is it Billy Vera and the Beaters song? It's the song that goes, "What would you think if I say in this moment?" I can't. It was a while ago, but I do remember just enjoying watching Huey Lewis sing all day.
Now,
because Huey Lewis did a Joe Cocker tune. So
yeah, I remember. Like I said, I remember the movie, but I watched it when it came out, and then I went to stream it today, and it was on Roku, and they kept wanting there's apparently a Spanish movie by the same name, and they would give the description of your movie. But when I clicked the link, I got some Spanish bullshit that.
Oh wow!
I even had Spanish subtitles, so I was out of it.
Yeah.
But the only reason I brought that movie up, I just want you to know, I have the same red jacket. Do you remember the red jacket?
Oh my gosh, yeah, the red sequin jacket,
yes,
worn by the infamous Ronnie Jackson. All my friends always laugh about that part because they always laugh at the lines that I do this karaoke stuff and I make an extra income on top of what I make at the meat plant. I remember that line, and that's on top of what I make at the meat plant. So yeah, I've been razzed about that one for a while, but it was fun to do. Bruce Paltrow really gracious, and Huey was awesome. You know, those are the types of movies that I wish I could be. That, you know, I wish there was stuff in there for me that I could have been around longer. But I was very, you know, blessed to be asked to do it. And the funny thing is, I think I don't know Michael Bublé that well, but we're both from Vancouver, you know, and they shot the movie in Vancouver. And I think I beat Bublé out for this role. And I think it was because I think Bublé was too good. I think they were like, yeah, we can't have Bublé in here because I think he would give Huey a run for his money, right? So that was kind of funny. But yeah, that was fun. It was fun to watch. Fun to spend a couple days watching Huey Lewis sing that Joe Cocker song over and over.
Joanna, over to you.
So diving in, you've worked across so many like horror subgenres, you know, psychological, supernatural, slasher. Do you approach building fear differently depending on the tone of the project?
Not really. I honestly, even with comedy, I think that if you play the, you know, just play the, I don't think about the genre per se. I just think about the dimension of the characters in the story, and you just stay true to the story, whether it be horror, action, comedy, and it lends itself. I think it's better to do it that way, and then let the circumstance create the tension or the buildup of the fear, if it is a horror movie, and that way you give the audience somewhere to go if you're just playing the realism of it. That's my approach to it. So, you know.
Okay, right on. So sticking with horror, I'm a huge, sorry, my cat's over here messing with me. Huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and Freddy versus Jason, a super, super important movie to me. Let me move my cat real quick.
Okay.
So we, us fans, we love your role in Freddy versus Jason. So what was it like, you know, stepping into a world with two of, you know, horror's most iconic villains?
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, I was a little naive to it all because growing up, I knew of those movies, and I watched a couple of the Friday the 13th. I wasn't really vested in the franchise, and you know, I knew Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw that as, you know, when I was a bit younger, but I didn't get, you know, vested into these characters and or the genre. So I didn't quite understand the iconicness of it while I was shooting. It wasn't until after, when the movie came out, that I realized, wow, this is a rabid fan base. They really pay attention. They pay attention to this stuff. You know, I really enjoyed doing the movie. The young cast were really cool. Jason Ritter and Monica Keena and Kelly Rowland, you know, so on. They were really, really great. And, you know, Deputy Stubbs is a type of character that, you know, it would have been great if the only thing I would have liked is just one heroic moment before my death scene, just something where maybe Stubbs saves one of the kids from Jason in a certain way. Because really all Stubbs did, in my point of view, was I was kind of like exposition for the audience who didn't really know who Jason Voorhees was. So it was my job to sort of re-educate the audience. As far as what I found, you know, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it and I tried to find dimension, but you know, that was kind of what Stubbs was there to do.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been awesome to see you like have a hero moment and say, you know, say somebody, sacrifice yourself, or, you know, And you know, in a way, I guess I did with Christopher Marquette's character, but it wasn't quite, there just was no build up to it. It would have been really kind of cool if I actually did have a physical fight with Jason, and or, you know, just to, you know, just get kind of beat up a little bit, you know, just to maybe so one of the kids could get away and then, you know, then face my demise. That would have been a little more interesting build up. But other than that, I enjoyed it, and I was quite surprised on, you know, when the movie came out, how huge of a success it was. Yes, it definitely meant a lot to us.
Yeah, that's great.
So looking back, is there a scene or a moment from the film that like fans bring up the most to you?
I think when I'm sitting around the table, and I think one of the lines is, well, the Scooby van outside kind of gave it away. I think that, just at the table with the kids explaining to them who Jason was, or is, that was one that people bring up. And then, of course, the beginning of the movie when I roll the window down and ask calmly, "Are you kids in need of some assistance?" As they're like screaming and all like cut and bloodied. And yeah, way to go, Stubbs. Way to be on it. Yeah, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Wes.
We're going to toss to commercial.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subissati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest TV. We do only have Lochlyn for just a few more minutes. He's actually working on a project right now, so he squeezes us in. Okay, now this kind of question that I'm famous for, and you might hate me for it, and I have to see you in a month. So, Riddle of the Sphinx. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one?
My Indiana Jones ripoff.
Yes, but that wasn't the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me was you took a 16-year-old girl on an adventure fighting a monster. At any point in your acting, do you go, "This is a really bad decision"?
Of course I do. I often have those thoughts in the back of my mind, but then I think to myself, okay, well, would there be any peril if she wasn't there? So it kind of drove the story a little bit. But yeah, of course, certain things in movie worlds where you have to just kind of go, yeah, this guy not as bright as he is supposed to be. But I quite enjoyed doing that film. Though. It was fun.
You probably enjoyed it because Dinah Meyer was in black leather for the entire movie.
Dina was doing her full on. What was Lara Croft's character? Oh, Lara Croft, right? Yeah, that was Angelina Jolie. So she was kind of, if you were to see the movie, it basically is sort of like Indiana Jones and Lara Croft team up to fight this.
The Sphinx.
The Sphinx. It was fun to do. I mean, sometimes movies just, they either come out better than you think or worse than you think. But the one thing, and this is like we were talking about the movie Unforgiven. I remember standing around talking to Gene Hackman, and I was trying not to full on fanboy and trying not to be that young actor guy, but I did just ask him a couple questions. And I remember I forget the question I asked, but he was talking to me about films and work, and he said, no matter what you do, be the best you can be in any film or television project that you do, because somewhere, somehow, someone will see it. That's what he told me. So I always remembered that. That was like 19.
We lost all
okay.
There we go. You're back.
Oh, you got me? And I thought to myself, okay, so that's what I'm going to do from now on. It doesn't matter if the movie sucks or if it's good or whatever. All I'm going to do is try and be the best character I can portray, try to add as much dimension as I can to the project. And, if the movie doesn't turn out great, at least maybe someone will watch it and go, the movie wasn't great, but man, the guy who played the Indiana Jones character did a really good job. So those are the kind of things,
Well, that actually leads me to was going to be my next comment question. What I've noticed about the fans today that have been interacting on our post on Facebook
Okay.
Everybody remembers you for a different part that you had in a movie, but it's very rarely your big parts. They're going back and saying, "Oh, I loved him in this. He wasn't on screen very long, but I loved him in that." And then what kind of led me to it? One of our people, I think it was Jake, asked, "Is there a specific technique to humping a couch?" Dead man on campus.
Oh my God.
I could go into a ton of stories about that movie, but that was a lot of that movie. I honestly, at some point, I thought maybe someone from Paramount was going to come out to set and say, "Okay, listen, we have a script. You might want to stick to it," because they let me. They let me. I just went crazy. I just created this. I channeled my inner John Belushi and you know that character in that movie is the reason Paramount put me in A Night at the Roxbury, was because of that film.
Now, now my memories of characters like that, right before I'm going to toss it over to you, Joanna, but like Totally Killer, when I watched you play the now responsible dad versus who you were when you were young, and those parts that we're talking about here came flooding back into my mind. Yeah. And that was one in particular that I just thought you were so over the top that, first of all, we all knew somebody like that. And it just, it actually made that part better.
Because I didn't play him over the top. I played him as a guy who had that energy, that was that guy. So that's the difference between trying to be over the top and or playing it real. And I committed fully to Cliff O'Malley. And to the point where when my son watched it, who's now 19, but I think my son watched it at about 16. And I told him, I said, I created that character before Red Bull. It was all caffeine. So I couldn't imagine. I think I would have had a heart attack if I drank Red Bull and played that character. And also, too, I don't know if you know this, but that was Mike White's first film. Mike White wrote that movie, of all the White Lotus fame, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was Mike White's. That was Mike White's first film. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Indeed. So, staying with some fan questions that have come on our post today, we had a fan that she read that you tried to be on the X-Files, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. With the reboot coming, will you try again?
I will definitely do my best to be on that set with Mr. Coogler. I would love to. Yeah, I remember. I here's the funny thing is that I'm originally from Vancouver and I've spent a lot of time here over my career. But I moved to LA in around '94, and when they started the X-Files, the pilot of the X-Files in 1993 or '94. I remember going to the Fox lot and reading for the pilot, and then I didn't really read for much of it throughout the years because I was in LA doing, other things. And then I heard about this reboot and stuff. So, with that guy at the helm, crazy. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You might see me in that pilot. Let's go.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun, right? Yeah.
Yes, totally looking forward to that. So, are there any other upcoming projects that you can tell us about?
What have I got going? Yes. What have I directed a movie. I just finished my first directorial debut. It's called The Last Show. It's a paranormal horror film that takes place in a house. So that was interesting. I did that. Danielle Harris came and jumped in there with me for my directorial debut. So that was really cool of her. She's so good in it. Adrian Holmes, who plays Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot, he came and did a bit for me. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that because it's kind of my first step into another chapter in my career of, being involved in this industry. So I have that coming up, and then a couple of other. Well, I have this little thing called Scary Movie coming out June 5th as well.
You don't say.
Right. I forgot about that one. June 5th. I think I might be in Lexington, Kentucky for that weekend. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. Yeah. I think we're doing actually, Melissa and John Abrahams and myself are doing a watch along on Friday afternoon for the movie. Yes. And I'll be coming in late Thursday night because of a project that I'm shooting in Vancouver. So I'll just be a little bit late Thursday. So I'm not going to tell you what that project is, but one of these fine days we will find out.
All right. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to having you guys with us at Spawn.
Yeah, so I can't wait. It's going to be fun. My wife and my daughter have been to Kentucky. I've never been to Kentucky, so I'm excited about it.
Okay, awesome. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Now we're at the bottom of the hour. If we did you want to spill the beans on what you were telling us? The reason you have to leave?
No, I can't spill the beans.
Can't spill
yet.
the beans.
That's still
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough.
That's still an NDA thing. So.
Well, you can say that, but actually, I'd already heard that before you came on.
What?
I didn't know you were in it, but I knew
I'm
they
not
were
in anything. What are you talking about? I have
did.
no idea.
I swear to God, I did. Okay, then before we let you go, personal question. Water ski. Okay, you were water skiing, gold medalist. Almost made it to pro hockey. What do you do now for fun, for sports? What's your big
I do.
enthusiasm?
Okay, so I played music throughout high school, and so I still play music a lot. My kids play. I really enjoy that. I play drums, a little bass, guitar, stuff like that. And I play golf with my son quite a bit. That's fun. I'm still really, really into most sports. I play, because I played semi-pro hockey. I play for the Vancouver Canuck alumni team. So we do a lot of charity events, and so I quite enjoy that. I get to play with a lot of my friends who played in the NHL and/or NHL guys that I, watched while I grew up. I get to play with them now, so that's kind of interesting. What else do I do in my spare time? I do a lot. I find that I do a lot of yard work lately. I'm really not in. I'm kind of not digging
adulthood.
that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of music, a lot of sports. I enjoy all of that type of stuff. My kids are 19 and 23, so I do like snowboarding with them and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, we promised we'd let you get back to work, and that's because if you weren't working,
yes,
we wouldn't give a fuck about you. You know that.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, exactly.
So I have to respect the job.
If you're talking with me, you're not talking about me, right? That's what my agent always says.
We do appreciate you carving out a little time for us tonight.
Oh yes, thanks, gang. I look forward to seeing you all on the 4th. Or sorry, the 5th.
We will be looking for you. Okay, everybody, we're going to go do our announcements.
Yeah.
Lochlyn, you can sign off anytime now. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, everybody, after we
pleasure.
do our announcements, what we'll do is we'll come back to me and Joanna, and I will put out into the universe all the bullshit things I was going to say to Lochlyn, and we'll talk about his movies in the chat room. All right. Yeah, I it's right here. I'm ready. All right, as we were saying, Scary Movie 6 celebrity event featuring Lochlyn Munro, John Abrahams, and Felissa Rose. Don't miss this one in a lifetime opportunity to see Scary Movie 6 on opening day in the largest theater in Kentucky with cast members. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at spawnofscarefest.com. Now, before we jump into the announcements, though, a quick Spawn update. We don't have any guest announcements for Spawn this week. And honestly, barring anything unforeseen, the next few weeks are going to be heavily focused on releasing event details, schedules, experiences, maps, after-hours activities, and all the weird little things that are going to make this hotel takeover come alive. Still got a couple contracts out, but if they don't come through, we're done announcing for Spawn. Now, let's move to Scarefest weekend. First up, the legendary Creeper Truck is coming to Scarefest weekend. Straight from Jeepers Creepers, one of the most recognizable horror vehicles ever put on screen, will be rolling into Kentucky. Next, Pamela Susan Shoup. You know her as Nurse Karen from Halloween 2, one of the unforgettable faces of the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. Beyond Halloween 2, Pamela also appeared in cult classics including Empire of the Ants and Night Gallery. Stay tuned as we continue building this incredible Halloween 2 reunion. And finally, Richard Domier. You would recognize him from Ed in Evil Dead 2. Richard has appeared in some of the most beloved cult horror films of the 80s and beyond. Whether you know him from Chaos of Evil Dead 2, the classic comedy of Teen Wolf, or the action-packed world of Die Hard 2, this is another awesome addition to the Scarefest weekend lineup. And trust us, we're not done yet. Okay, and now everybody, the 12th, we have to release our leftover rooms at the hotel. So if you're even thinking about getting a room in Lexington that weekend, you better be getting on it. Seriously, the 12th is our deadline. We're down to just a few packages left now, but those are gone after the 12th. So go to spawnandscarefest.com, book your room. We still have some available, but they are just about petered out. And now next week there won't be a show. There'll be a live. You can on Facebook Live probably. If not for me, Adrian will probably do one, or we'll just do our announcements, one way or the other. But I will be in Mansfield, Ohio, at the Mansfield Reformatory, Parapsych on 7. I will be there. So if you're in that area, it's basically Columbus area, kind of. May 15th through 17th, that's where I'm going to be. Now, 2 weeks after that, I will be gone again. Theoretically, it'll be me and Brandon, but I can't count on the man. I just gave up. So I put my graphic on there. The Smoky Mountain Fan Fest, May 29th through 31st in Kingsport, Tennessee. The Meadowview Shopping Center. The Meadowview Convention Center. Don't tell them I said that. Kingsport, Tennessee. SmokyMountainFanFest.com. It's a great show. I watched the son of a gun grow up from Gatlinburg and hopped around a little bit. Now it's in the big convention center over in Kingsport, Tennessee. So that's where I'll be May 29th through 31st. And don't forget, me and Joanna will be having our Titanic fight to the death the Saturday of Spawn weekend. Yeah, the Saturday of Spawn of Scarefest. We will be. I'm waiting on my pool floaty to show up in the mail, but if not, I do have a plastic door. We'll talk about that after the break's over here too. And one final thing. If you missed the live episode for Fear of the Talking Heads earlier tonight at an odd time, you can now see the replay on YouTube with Barb and Eric discussing 10 evil moms in horror just in time for Mother's Day. So look up Fear of the Talking Heads. I'm getting ready to gag everybody. Fear of the Talking Heads. At Fear of the Talking Heads. And okay, let's go to do Joe's weekly spot, and I'll be framing Joanna while that's playing.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly with a movie that's exclusively on HBO Max called Dust Bunny. Now, this is another one of those where, is Joe actually reviewing a horror film, or is this, well, it's got a creature that may or may not be eating people, and it has an assassin in it who is definitely killing people. So I think it falls under this. If you've not heard of Dust Bunny, that's okay. It's from the genius of Brian Fuller. Ever saw that Hannibal show? Brian Fuller. Pushing Daisies, ever watched it? Dead Like Me? Brian Fuller. The American Gods? Brian Fuller. I like a lot of what he has done, and this is no exception. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, I didn't even know he directed it. Not anything. Chad, my best friend, knew all about it. I didn't know anything. So when I went in with blind eyes, other than Mads Mikkelsen, I was like, Sigourney Weaver's in this? I didn't even know. It is a movie that's kind of a fairy tale, but it's also beautiful. If you're familiar with City of Lost Children or Delicatessen, it very much has that kind of vibe, and it's just beautifully shot, and every scene in it is just exquisite. I'm sorry, I'm going to fawn over this movie a lot, and I can't help it because I loved it. And just here's the plot. There's a 10-year-old girl, and her name's Aurora, and she happens to be next door to a hitman in an apartment. And she believes that the dust bunny under her bed ate her parents, ate her entire family. And she comes up with some money that she steals away from a church to hire him to protect her. That's it. And then we have to deal with the assassins that also don't want him alive. That's all I'm going to tell you about this movie. So why should you rush? I'm not joking. Rush out and watch this for two reasons. One, if you have young kids, so my son's 8, almost 9. I don't know that he's quite ready for this yet. There's not a ton of bad language in it. That helps. But there is a lot of themes and there are people eating. Is there a dust bunny? Is there not a dust bunny under a bed? I'm not going to answer any of those questions. The movie does answer them, though. It answers everything. I will give it credit. Brian Fuller did a good job. It's just so beautiful. And it is a fairy tale with a creature, really. And I think if you have a tween, kind of like if you're getting towards 10 or 11, and you have to be the judge of your own children. I always say this. Like my kid, he can handle a lot. And it's like, no, this is Rick Baker and these are effects because he's my son. But I understand that his friends can't handle it. They can't handle the basement. I get that. But if you know your child, I think this is accessible for our Scarefest children. I think this could be a gateway horror film for them. This movie is so good, so well made. I have no rocks to throw at it. So should you see Dust Bunny on HBO Max? If you love fantasy, if you love movies that are shot just beautifully, like every frame's a painting, and just if nothing else, you'll love the sequence where he is fighting the folks and she's looking from behind and he in her head. In her 10-year-old head, he's fighting a dragon, but these people are kind of dressed up as a dragon. It's just beautiful. And Mads Mikkelsen just delivers. He's a great actor. I love him in most everything I've seen him in. Whatever you're doing, I highly recommend. And if you have a young child and you're thinking, well, there's not a ton of blood in this, and there's not really a lot of bad language. So should you watch Dust Bunny maybe with a kid who's in the double digits? Absolutely. This is, to me, my kid in another year or two could totally handle this if he gets interested in it. Should she hire an assassin to protect her from the dust bunny that's eating her family under her bed? What else do you need? Movie is awesome. Check it out. Check out Dust Bunny on HBO Max. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. If you don't subscribe to Bonehead, you should totally do that.
And welcome back, everybody. Sorry that Lochlyn had to leave, but he did slide us into his filming schedule. He wanted to do it in 2 weeks, but I'd already had the show scheduled. So he took this date under duress, if you will, under duress. But now, before I forget, Adrian is going to be doing a live right after the show tonight. Well, not now because we'll probably end a little early, but 10:15 right in there. Watch your Facebook feed for Adrian doing a live with Doomsday's Crypt. So keep that in mind. Now okay, as far as Lochlyn goes, and we're watching the chat room where I am. If y'all, tell me your favorite movie and if I got to watch it this week. I watched a lot of his streaming stuff. I didn't even scratch the surface. Now, what movies of his do you remember him most from, Joanna?
Well, definitely Scary Movie, Freddy versus Jason. Crap. And then he was just recently, I watched him on an episode on Creep Show. So that was really, that was cool. My kid loved that.
That was probably streaming and I didn't even see it on the list until it was too late. I would like to watch that. The Freddy versus Jason thing, I'm on board with you on that. Because he kind of became a character in the third act, I guess you would say, as far as on screen. I really thought I thought he might even survive. He had that presence of that clearness of thought. In other words, he wasn't a denier. He wasn't a skeptic. He was going after it. All right. I was cheering for him. I'll admit it.
Yeah, I believe it. I think now I'm like, he was robbed. He definitely should have had more, of a fight scene or something before he just got, killed off.
Yeah. I thought it was anticlimactic. That's the word I would use the way it happened. Now, everybody going back to the beginning of the show. Now I watched, Thieves Highway and believe that trailer, spoiler filled. That kills half the suspense. I didn't see the trailer before the film. So now it's okay. But I would say it's a good action movie, people. But one flaw, Joanna, one flaw. the guy has the magic shotgun. You know what the magic shotgun is?
Tell me.
The one you never have to fucking reload. You just keep pumping the son of a bitch. I was counting them. That is my quirk, if you will, my twitch. When I watch somebody with a revolver, especially pump shotgun, because I believe pump shotgun holds 4 unless you pull the tube out and do some gimmicky shit on it, and then I think they hold 7 or 8, something like that. Somebody in the chat room probably knows, but they pump shotgun will not hold any more than that. Now they're shotguns now, street sweepers and shit. This wasn't a street sweeper. This was grandma's shotgun. And when he hit the, two things, okay, after I saw him go through 4 shots, I said, okay, time to reload. Well, he shot a bunch more times. And I don't know where the shells would have come from. I'll go with off-screen reloading, but he stole the shotgun. There was no scene of him grabbing a box of shells. So, yeah, so that kind of bothered me. And the other thing is, okay, now this is technical shit. Shoots it. Racks it. Scene cuts to something else, comes back. He racks it again. He racked a full shell.
Ooh.
Is that just a macho thing to turn the women on? You tell me. I would never waste a shotgun shell. They're too expensive.
Yeah, if I'm hanging out and I just hear that clack, clack, I've got to look around and I'm like, oh.
But seriously, people, Thieves Highway, easy to find. It's on Hulu, I said. It's on Hulu, which is anybody else having trouble with Hulu? My Roku TV keeps booting me off Hulu. But anyway, so yeah, look it up. It's a fun watch. 90-minute movie. It's not a great commitment of time. But, now Totally Killer, that was one we talked about before. Have you seen that one? It's like a time.
I have not watched that one.
You need to watch. That's a serious horror movie.
Okay.
And I mean, kind of serious. It's kind of funny too. But no, that Barb was talking in the chat room how much she I recommended it to her, and she loved it. It's complicated. I'm not going to try to explain it, but that's another one I can recommend. Now, Mysterious Island, don't really recommend. That's the Jules Verne adaptation. Shall I use the word modernized? And the modernization of it to bring it up to the 90s or early 2000s, even it didn't translate well. I'll say that. Yeah. So if there's any Jules Verne fans out there. And that was where we talked about going through his IMDb though. Now, of course, it doesn't rank him by how much screen time they get. So I watched a lot of this stuff. A couple of starring roles, but that's it. That was a serious thing. He had a lot of what we'll call minor parts, at least on screen time, but they were always important, memorable parts, and that's what people's been talking about in the chat room tonight. They're pulling out, my favorite movie was when he, was in the Betty Crocker commercial, shit like that. So, but now we'll say on Riddle of the Sphinx, that was a TV movie too. And if anybody remembers what TV movies looked like in the early 2000s, none of them were pretty. None of them. But Dina Meyer, he said, I thought it was Dinah, but it's Dina Meyer. And yeah, she looked, which I've always worshipped that woman. She, of course, was in Starship Troopers. Got to see her naked there, like that. But yeah, the black leather. But yeah, the premise of that movie now, excuse me, he's an Egyptologist. And basically they dig up one of these tombs and the Sphinx comes out and kills everybody. Well, then, so the girl escapes and she comes to warn him that the Sphinx is coming to kill him. Well, actually, the Sphinx is chasing her because she got something in her pocket that was stolen from the tomb. So in other words, one decision away from him not even being in the movie. But she does come to him so he can translate it, and then he decides to take his little girl, which had to leave the house, everybody. He had to leave the house. Takes her to this secret government facility the Sphinx can't get in. Real man would have left his daughter in the protected space and went about doing the other shit. And that's one of those movie decisions. Now I got to watch White Chicks again today.
Yay!
That movie, I didn't. It's funny now. That's one I saw, and I don't think I saw it in theaters. I think I actually did just rent it on from the video store. But I had forgotten how funny that movie, because it's been streaming forever, and I never went back and rewatched it. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, that was
oh, it's awesome. He's in it. Yeah, doesn't he sniff panties in that one?
Yes,
but it was like
that's when he sniffs panties. Yeah, that's when he.
And it was a guy wearing them.
Yeah. Of course, I watched that, and I watched Scary Movie, just to kind of refresh my memory on that. Freddy, Jason, that one I watched this spring. I actually rewatched it, and let's see, what else did I come up with?
Well, Dead Man on Campus is another one.
Yes, I watched that a night or two ago, and that's another one. I hadn't seen that since video store days, but I remembered the character. Forgot half the movie, but I remembered the character because when I watched Totally Killer, I was serious. I was watching him going, "Oh my God, I'm old," and to come find out, me and him are the same age. But yeah, to watch him play the responsible dad in that movie, it was almost heartbreaking after remembering. So, anybody in the chat room, what are some of your all's favorite movies that are off the beaten path, if you will, off the beaten path? I'd love to see if there's something we can recommend before we get off here. And the other thing about going all the way back to Thieves Highway, Evan Saw was in it, and guess who kills Lochlyn Munro? Evan Saw.
He does?
Yes.
Oh wow.
See,
okay.
we could do a photo op just on that movie. The two of them. I'll bring a shotgun. Actually, he used an assault rifle to do it. But yeah, that was. So, but I don't feel bad about giving that spoiler after watching the damn trailer. Fair. So.
Fair enough.
Okay, now before we go, how excited are you about trying to drown me in the swimming pool?
I have been training so hard. I don't know if you've been seeing any of my gym posts.
I watch all your gym posts. Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well. Yes.
I didn't really put the two together, but yeah.
That's all for US, so I can destroy you.
Now, everybody, that's one thing I mentioned last week. The Friday night of Spawn, we are going to do at least a short Scarefest TV live right outside the convention hall, because we are going to do our official weigh-in. We are going to make this as an important occasion. And now I've ordered if you go on Amazon and type in Titanic door, there is a floaty that is made like but it comes from like China, so it might be here in time, or it may not. If not, my backup plan is I have from an old mobile home, I've got a plastic hollow core door. And I think as long as I seal where the doorknob goes, I think it will float just fine. And if that doesn't work, we're just borrowing somebody's little arm floaties, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, you see, Jonah, now you're approaching it differently. You're actually where it became fight to the death. You're wanting to drown my ass. I'm trying to figure out how to save us both. I think it could be done. I think we can prove it.
Okay.
I think I can prove it if you don't kill me too quickly.
Well, I mean, we can prove it, but then I still think they're only need because I'm like, okay, come on. And then I guess if the door gets destroyed, this will maybe turn more into a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing instead of, we're both dead.
And the other thing is, me being a responsible married adult, I have to be careful. This is a girl in a swimsuit, and I got to pull this off without coming across creepy. There, I said it.
I have short, like little short trunks and like a sport swimsuit top, so don't worry.
Yes. Oh, I wouldn't worry about de-pantsing you. I would just, just things get heated in pools. Things get heated. So, let's see. Barb's having a conversation, and then I'm not sure what it was about, but I saw my eyes zoned in on the word drunk, and that's where I went with that. So anyway, that is an important feature, though. That'll be Saturday night at midnight. Meet us by the pool, and we are going to recreate. I actually downloaded the scene. I need to pull the dialogue off that so we can recreate at least part of that scene for the artistic value. It will be filmed. I will have a couple of cameras, cell phones. People have their cell phones going, but I will have my high quality video camera there to engage it. Yeah, Barb's saying donkey.
Yes, and we need to have Celine Dion playing in the background too.
Or oddly enough, and that's just totally off topic, Adriana Grande. I was never a great fan of her. That woman can sing. There's no person on earth with a wider vocal range, and I've heard her do Celine Dion, and she sounds exactly like her. So if we can't get Celine, we might be able to bring in the Grande chick. But I bet she don't float. Sink like a rock. No body mass. There's no room for air or anything. And just straight to the bottom. So everybody, that's up. Unless Joanna's got something else she wants to talk about. That's our show for tonight. We stretched that all the way out to 10 o'clock. We did it. See, I can bullshit my way through an episode of the best of. So,
yes.
Everybody, next week, don't forget, next week we won't be on the air, but in 2 weeks we got coming up Brett Wagner, frequent guest of Scarefest. Brett Wagner, the Lost Leatherface, is coming on. Me and Barb will be talking to him on May 22nd. Hope to see everybody then.